Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Thursday morning trading room. Hang on here just one second. The market's just opened up, and I don't know, it's kind of a funny session so far. Well, so far. We're, 2 minutes into the day? Oh, not even a minute into the day. What I was looking at here was the hawk and the eagle, and we're drifting sideways already. Yesterday, after the market made a rather substantial decline. Oh, here, I won't show you on the hawk. I got to go back too far. After the market made a rather substantial decline during the day session, it also managed to make a bit of a rally through the overnight before tailing off again during the European session, which is where we find ourselves now. So from where they left off to where they're starting, there's an ever so slight opening gap, and it looks like the market's trying to get into that gap right out of the open here. And we will see which way they're going to go from here. Right now, it looks kind of neutral to me. The eagle technically bullish. We are getting a first micro-macro cross. What time is it? 6:32. I think I'm going to let that one pass. I suspect it's going to go up at least to our profit objective. There you go. So we've just hit our profit target there on that scalp. And just trying to get a feel for what might be going on here. Gold, also very neutral at the moment. Here's gold on the Falcon, and you can see that gold opened up. Where did they open up? Right about back here. So a little bit of an uptick, but ever since then they've been pretty much contained by this secondary resistance line. And gold put in a very strong rally yesterday. You can see our filter is starting to look a little bit like a tartan here, and our trend line like a kid's roller coaster. So this market very, very neutral right now also in gold. And last but not least, let's take a look at crude oil, which has had a rather strong session since this morning's open. Crude oil opened right here and right out of the gate put in a very strong rally. Yesterday was not a bad day for crude oil. Even through the overnight, it looked like there was a decent progression there. But now we're also kind of hovering. All right, so the initial little uptick has subsided. Yeah, it's hard to say right now, Tony. Tony says crude oil rallied up to 33.50, and it might be pulling the stock market with it. That is a possibility. See, the problem that we're having right now is we're just very, very sideways. See, we kind of came down here, tested the bottom end of the trading range. Not much. Tested the top end of the trading range. Fell off. Remember, yesterday's session is still going to be in the minds of a lot of traders, that huge move lower. So we're working on a possible rule of 3. Actually, we do have our rule of 3 now. Nope, and they slipped past me on that one. I was a little bit slow with that order. So a little bit of a selling block going through the market right there on the Geiger counter, and there they go. I was also watching this macro pullback signal. I guess I should have set up for that one before I tried to do the eagle trade. Oh, that's a shame. That eagle trade worked out very nicely. Market fell off very well right here. Especially since they got into that gap early. They tried to rally up the market early, and then that was it. They got squashed. Well, I certainly hope they come back here with at least one more signal. Nope, doesn't look like it right now. So this rule of 3 that we were looking at, I might as well go over this. So we've got a market that is, technically the band is bullish. See how our eagle band is bullish, and we've produced a sell signal right here. Then the market goes up, comes down, produces another sell signal. Well, with the rule of 3, we traditionally wait for the third sell signal, but more important than the third sell signal is this test or retest of the high. The test of the extreme is what I call it. So this is the retest, then the market came right back, produced another sell signal. That's how I knew it was time to sell. Not simply because it was the third signal, but because we've had this retest, we've had 3 signals trying to move the market against the dominant trend, which happens to be bullish, and then this is the end result. I would still have taken it even if it were only 2 signals. Let's say this one right here didn't exist. Likewise, I would have taken it if there were 4 signals. Right? So the rule of 3 is just a general rule. We don't just simply buy and sell because of 3 counter trend signals. But if we get that test of the extreme beforehand, then it's probably a pretty good idea. Okay, we've got a little bit of buying coming back into the market now. Actually producing a trend change signal here on the Falcon. Is probably going to rally up a little bit. But remember, whenever you take a counter trend signal, sometimes it's safer just to go here into manual mode and so that you only end up putting a onesie on the trade. And this is definitely a situation where you're going to want to go all in, all out, because, hey, we've got a dominant downtrend here. I don't care if the market is producing a buy signal. I don't want to go crazy on the buy side. I don't want to think that, oh, okay, buy signal, the market's going to rally all the way back up here to 41.64. But if I take the attitude that this is just a little short-term swing that I'm trying to take advantage of, you can see in this case it happened to work out. And most times you should be able to get your high probability profit target. But you need to get used to balancing your trades with the overall market context also. Okay, here on the hawk, at the same time we had that first micro macro cross. Now we're getting a macro pullback signal. Again, context, very important here. This bar that's forming is going to flip the ATR, and I'm going to be late on this one too. Doggone it. They're just moving a little bit too fast around the entry signal. I got to get in here earlier and start setting these things up a little sooner. And here's a red bar buy signal, which is going to fail. Possibly fail. And here comes the first micro macro cross lower. Okay, so we've got a market that is actually in limbo again. No, now we're into yellow bars. So we've got a market that's really at a decision point. It's trying to get higher, it's trying to get lower. This, when it starts moving this fast, sometimes you just have to concentrate on one tool. The lows down here are the biggies. That's really what we need to see the market get past. So here comes the eagle producing a signal. Oh, see, I said I wasn't going to talk so much. Get the order in first. All right, so what I want to see is I want to see it take out the low. That's going to be the important part. Okay, here's a little bit of a reaction, but we should be able to see the sellers overwhelm them here still. Again, because we've had a little bit of an uptick, right? A little bit of an uptick that failed. So you should be thinking, the buyers tried to rally. Sellers got all over them again. Buyers tried to rally. They changed some of the bar colors through here. But the sellers pushed them down once more. So here's another first micro macro cross on the hawk. So a couple good opportunities here this morning on the hawk. And I think what I'm going to do is go with my a little bit of a tighter stop here, or just, no, now they're moving against me, you stinkers. Let's hold that back to the hard edge. Come on, just give me one more bar here and I can get that trade down there to break even. There we go. So this bar right here, I could take the trade to break even. I'll just leave it how it is. We probably have like $20 at risk here. This shows the recommitment on the part of the sellers after the buyers once again tried to rally the market. And here they are again. The buyers are pushing, pushing, pushing. If the sellers can move them lower, I'm pretty confident we're going to find our profit objective here. Where's the Geiger counter? Yeah, you see how the buyers are trying to chew through the orders? The dial's pulled over, but oh, we don't want to see it pull and hold. If it pulls over and holds, then that's bad news. See the width of the bars, how they're starting to get a little bit fat. There we go. Hit our break-even trigger, and we should be able to slide into our profit target now. There we go. There we go. So a couple of great opportunities on the Eagle here this morning. That would be my day had I not missed the first one, caught the second one there. That's a pretty good morning. And we're only 15 minutes into the session. Wahoo! Alright, and we've hit our high probability target, so we might be seeing a little bit of support come in here. We just drifted into the secondary support line here also. Let's see how far are we below the primary. Oh, look at that, we're 2 zones deep already. Very likely to go 3 zones today, I think. 40.85. We'll give the talking heads lots to talk about on TV. Crude oil folding over a little bit, but not dramatically so. Alright, so here comes that support. Or a little bit of it anyways. And we've got some buying action again. So of course the Hawk is going to show it to us early. The Falcon hot on its heels. Okay. First micro macro cross here in the Hawk. This one's going to have some follow through to it. Nothing too dramatic, I would think, but certainly enough to hit the profit objective. So fantastic day in the Hawk this morning too. Just first micro macro crosses. You're knocking it out of the park. Of course, this one, if you had had a runner in, boom. Next one right there. Not huge follow through, but enough to get to your profit objective. Next one right here. Another fantastic move. Here's yet another one. So on first micro macro crosses alone, you've had 4 decent signals. Yeah, like Tony says, Adam's got this little quote on a cartoon that says, it's a news anchor reading the financial news. Stocks rose slightly in early trading, then plummeted, and news that stocks rose slightly in early trading. All right, so they're back into the hard edge, both on the Raptor and the Eagle. Oh, wow, the buyers are showing up. whether the sellers decide to come back at them. Just because the buyers are rallying the market a little bit doesn't mean that the sellers have totally walked away. They could just be waiting for a better price to sell at. Okay, I guess I can get busy here now. We've had a couple opportunities here on the Raptor as well, most notably the soft edge buy down here, which was preceded by a little itty bitty retest here, which is exactly what you want to see before you get your soft edge buy signal. Actually, I pointed out this one here. Technically, this one was the first one. The soft edge buy usually has pretty good follow through to it for the exact same reason that we look at things like the rule of three on the eagle and so forth. Okay. So an exceptional rally on the part of the buyers, and now the sellers are showing up again. How do I know that? Well, because here we've started to drift into some yellow bars again. As the sellers are starting to show up 41, 41, 42 area. Wow. That is a strong rally. Yeah, that is a very strong rally. So a lot more yellow bars going on. And now we will see whether the sellers can do anything with this, or whether the buyers are in fact going to press higher here. So we've got a trend change. You could be looking to buy, well, the signal technically came here. This bar turned over on the ATR. I would reserve my entry above the high. I think that only makes sense. there's going to be a lot of resistance here as we get around the 4150 area. I think our profit objective is well past that. Yeah, well, not much past it, 4151. If they do hold it, we should get another signal. And in fact, this is one of these trades that you could even do an OCO order on. You could buy above, you could sell below, because you see, we also have a little itty bitty test of the extreme and the makings of another rule of 3, except this one's currently only a rule of 2. So I can tell this resistance here. See, it made a swing high here. Sellers knocked them down. Buyers came back. Sellers pushed them down. Buyers came back. Sellers pushed them down. And now it's going to be who's going to win this little tug of war. Better get an order in. Nope, that's not what I want. All right. Okay, really needing to see where's the next major support zone. 4121, so we do have a little bit of room here. So a little bit of support here around this 4127 area. If we can see the market trade below there, we should be all right. But we kind of got a market that's in limbo here right now. Mo asks a good question. Oops, hold on a second here, Mo. I'm going to try to get this out of harm's way for a moment. There we go. Just put that back up there where it originally was. Okay, so Mo's got a question about the NinjaTrader Dome. He says, if you enter a trade and have a stop entered but no exit and the trade goes your way and you are up, can you exit the trade by just clicking the close button, or do you have to exit as to where you want to take profit? Yeah, you can hit the close button. You can hit the close button if you have the trade manager, or let me get the Dome up here for you also. Why is that not populating? Shoot. Oh, because I got the wrong contract month. There we go. So this is what Mo is asking about. This is called the Dome, and the Dome shows, you know, the buy and sell orders, how they're stacked. And he says, well, if I'm long here or short here, whatever the case may be, can I exit just by hitting the close button? Yes. It forces your trade to close out. So you can see we got a whole lot of trading going on there right now. Market's jumping back and forth. Oh, you stinkers. Oh. They rallied just enough to tag me, and now they're heading back down again. Oh, that's not nice. Okay, so we have another rule of 3 here. Oops, stop that. Shoot. Oh, and now to add insult to injury, they're not going to let me in on this trade. So there they go. And we should have had comparable signals on the Falcon. Right here, we got a trend change signal. And here on the Hawk, we also have a first micro macro cross. And I bet you here on the Raptor, we have a cloud crossover. Yes, we do. So the cloud crossing over, you got a couple opportunities to get in. You had this one right here, which again is kind of like the Eagles rule of 3 with this little test of the extreme. And then we get the cloud crossover right down there. Not nice. Right, and now we've got the buyers trying to dig it in again. We're back down here to where they turned the market previously. It looks like around 41.15, 16. And now they're trying hard to rally the market up one more time. Getting first micro macro crosses here, trend change signals here. But remember the context, right? The market is quite bearish today. This whole 41.20 area is proven to be quite a significant support level. Well, 41.21 3/4 to be precise, according to the support and resistance suite. Good morning, Jim. Jim giving us some advanced decline numbers here. It says we got 1640 on the buy and 1140 on the sell. So that's actually a slightly bullish market. Even though we've seen some rather substantial moves to the downside this morning. All right, so here come the buyers once again, working on yet another trend change signal. Oh, that macro pullback just got spoiled here by the yellow bars in the Hawk. Yeah, Jim says, wow, roller coaster today. It certainly is. Moved a little bit too quick on me a couple of times there, and they did the nasty and stopped me out prematurely on a trade only to plummet well past my profit target. All right, so here come the buyers again. Oops, shoot, can't afford to look away for a second. What I was watching here was on the Raptor, I was waiting for this soft edge buy signal right here. Because we're making higher lows, right? And all of a sudden we breached the highs. Right? So we breached the high. We can anticipate one more move in the direction of the breakout. So I was looking for this signal right here, hoping to get into the Raptor trade. But here too, they were just a little bit quick. I got caught looking at my other chart. And they did a little runaway on me. So they're going to come right back here to these highs around the 41-42 area and steamroller right through those. Oh, maybe not. All right, so a little bit of a move higher, hit 41, what did I say, 41.45. Here our next line on our support and resistance suite, tagged it almost to the number, actually went 41.46. And now they're drifting sideways a little bit. Could see a pullback into the hard edge. So the buyers have managed to make some decent rallies this morning. And it seems every time they get a little bit of steam going, the sellers come right back and give them a spank. Into a little bit of a sideways drift. I'm hoping we're not just building into a great big sideways range. All right, here they go. All right, so here come the buyers again. We produced a Raptor signal right here. I think it's prudent to take it above the high. I don't think this is something you want to get too anxious on, given that, we have been moving a little bit sideways. If in fact this is a retest of this high, a test of the extreme, we could see the market turn over and head lower. Oops, sorry. Sorry, guys. Yes, I was sitting on the mute button. I don't know if you heard my little speech there about Peter knocking it out of the park this morning for $450, and how he said he's stopping trading today because he does not want to overtrade, and that is excellent. What I was saying, which you probably did not hear, is we had a strong rally day yesterday. We've got another strong rally day today. Tomorrow is very likely to be a very flat day. One of those you might as well sleep in kind of days. I think the whole lows where we were at here today around the, where are they? Is that it? That's it. So we dipped to about 41.14, and I think yesterday's lows were around 41 even. So obviously the buyers getting a little bit more aggressive around that whole 41 area, and now they have rallied it. I was joking this morning about rallying it all the way back up to 41.60, and look at that, 41.70. Just a huge rally on the part of the buyers. But it's so important not to overtrade. There's very few things you have control over as a trader. Overtrading is definitely one of them. You always want to focus on your highest probability setups. Jim says he's watching the Raptor on the YM, and I'll show you here on the NASDAQ what he's referring to. Jim counts the cloud to cloud, the distance from this band to this band. And he's found that when it gets overextended, that we're likely to see a little bit of a retracement. Now, remember, before we look at retracements, like in this case it would be a soft edge sell, we want to make sure we've had a retest of the highs and a failure. So we've had a retest of the highs, but no failure just yet. The reason being, of course, you have to take the context into account. Right now, even though the market was very bearish out of the gate, the buyers have full-on control here. Don't want to be stepping in front of that bus. Not too quickly, anyway. All right, so they're drifting a little bit here. It looks like the sellers are going to try to hold them maybe around this 41.75 area. Well, our resistance line, our primary support line, I should say, is at 41.70, so that's starting to affect the marketplace somewhat. And I agree with Jim. It looks like we might be getting a little bit of a pullback here now. No signal just yet. I'll show you the soft edge sell if we get it here. There it is. And this is one that I should probably just be taking on a onesie also. All right, so we've sold here. I'm going to cover the trade above the high. And this is, again, it's counter trend. It's much riskier than taking a with trend trade. But essentially what we're looking for here is now for the market to try to retest the bottom end of this trading range. Without retesting the top end of the trading range. All right, if this holds now, then we've had a very good retest of the highs. And we could see this soft edge sell pick up some momentum. Oh, baby. Come on, sellers, where'd you go? See how the dial here on the Geiger counter was pulling over and holding hard to the sell side? That was encouraging, but there we go. We need to see it get over there and stick. Hold. Oh, no, the buyers keep coming back. And that is why counter trend trades are so darn difficult. I've heard it said that you could, if you have a trend, here, we'll do it. You can just blindly buy with the trend or sell with the trend, and you will do better than if you attempt a counter trend trade. So here, I'm just horsing around now because we don't have a signal. But let's just play with this and see how it works. So let's say we're going to run a stop down below this swing low right here. We obviously have an uptrend, bought in at no particular price. Yeah, maybe not. Maybe it's going to make a liar out of me again. But the momentum, behind a trend, especially when you have an established trend, it's huge. It's a big deal. All right, well, enough of that. I thought it was maybe going to be a little bit more dramatic than it was, but we'll put that away for now. All right, so Jim's also watching crude oil. He says, looks like crude oil is selling off. And yes, it does look that way. Here is crude oil on the Eagle. This is another one of those rule of three type scenarios. Darn crude oil. I really shouldn't be taking this trade because it's out of reach for my account, but we'll fake it. So we've got the rule of three building here. Now you're looking at it and you're saying, well, Eric, there's only two signals. How can that be a rule of three? Well, the structure is the same, right? We've had a high, we've had a retest and a failure. So now the market's trying to head lower. I'm going to, because we've only got two signals counter trend, I'm going to look to short below the low here. All right, here come the buyers yet again. One more push to the upside. You can see we're drifting once more. A lot of yellow bars going on here. A lot of sidewaysness to the market. The hawk is always going to show you that first, I think. Gold. Oh, I should have taken a look at the gold market a little bit more carefully here. We had a nice little tumble in gold prices. A little bit of a sell-off. Not much of a test or a retest here. Just a quick trend change signal, and down they go. We did get a better signal on the Falcon and the Hawk, which is, well, why we have more than one tool. So a very nice trend change signal right here on gold. And a great progression lower, followed by a late filter entry signal right here. Late filter entry signal, of course, occurs when the filter goes out of sync, comes back into sync, and the trend line never changes color. That's very important. The trend line cannot change color. Okay, so the buyer's trying to press again, get up near yesterday's highs, I guess. They were around that 41.90 area. So we're seeing a huge range right from 4,100 to 4,200, roughly speaking. Excuse me. We can probably cancel that crude oil trade right now because not much going on with crude. Wow, they are pressing hard. Okay, now we're kind of drifting a little again. Okay, so can't do much with it while we're into yellow bars here, and we've got this sideways drift going on. But buyers have definitely slowed. Actually, the whole market has kind of slowed down, taken a bit of a chill pill, if you will. Yeah, Ryman says, what a bull run this morning. It sure is. Exceptional. Well, I almost thought they were going to put the brakes on them there, but they have rallied to the next resistance line, which is our median line here at 41.94. And it almost looks like there's no end in sight as they press toward 4,200. Another first micro macro cross here on the Hawk. I'm sure somebody was able to pick up on that one. And I probably would have, when it built, I probably would have risked it down here to the macro line. But even so, no trouble hitting the profit objective there. Yeah, Tony says they must be bringing in buyers by the busload. You know, the thing about a rallying market, there's an expression that you need to feed a bull market. So there's obviously some sort of positive news out there right now that is keeping the buyer's attention. While we're waiting for that, Peter asks, Eric, how do you get your bar widths to change? On my charts, they are the same. Peter, that's an add-on from Indicator Warehouse. That's called the Dynamic Equivolume Bars. And what they do is they incorporate a volume element into the bar itself. So I can tell you that these fact bars here have had a lot of volume associated with them. Why is that important, you say? Well, these fat bars tend to generate where the market eventually turns. So if you see a fat bar developing, you have a pretty good idea that there's going to be some, in this case, some buying support. If you get a couple of fat bars here, you know there's a real serious battle between the buyers and the sellers. So it is an add-on from Indicator Warehouse that you can pick up. And what you'll do is when you install it, you'll go here to your chart style and you'll find it now in your assortment. The nice thing about the dynamic equivolume bars is they will work on any chart. Well, any graphic chart like this. You know, they obviously won't work on point and figure charts, but that's not the point. They'll work on tick charts, they'll work on minute charts, they'll work on the mean Renko bars from Indicator Warehouse. Yeah, Adam was always looking for a way to incorporate volume into the charting. Okay, crude oil very stagnant. Gold also slowing down somewhat. Speaking of equivolume bars, Jim says on the YM 15-minute chart, the last three equivolume bars are large. This run up is a lot smaller. So yeah, it does look like they are stalling out a little bit, doesn't it? A little first micro macro cross signal right here. Trend change signal on the Falcon. I wouldn't hesitate so much to take the first micro macro cross on the Hawk just because the profit target is so much tighter. Here on the Falcon, it would be a little bit more difficult to get a hold of this trend change signal right there. I would probably have to risk it up here, and you can see we're working on getting there right now. And there we go. We hit our profit target. Right back into the hard edge. All right. We should get something tradable here soon. Oh, still very lopsided on the buy side. Jim says we've got 2100 on the buy and 740 on the sell. Mo asks Eric on the micro macro pullback. I think you've elaborated on this before, but not sure. Do you enter on a market or a limit order? Okay. Regardless of the order, I tend to use stop orders. You can use a stop limit if you're worried about a lot of slippage, but the NASDAQ, usually that's not an issue. One of the room attendees was telling me that he was getting 5-tick slips on the NASDAQ. If that's your experience, you need to talk to your broker, because there's no way you should be getting slipped 5 ticks on the NQ. What's likely happening is you're getting a terrible placement in the queue. But no, limit orders, we only use a limit order if we're, say, expecting the market to retrace and I want to sell it from right here or sell it from up here. That's the only time you use a limit order. You can use a market order. You can use your buy and sell market buttons. But usually what I'm looking to do is I'm looking to make the market prove me right. So if I'm going to take this signal right here, what I'm looking for is I'm looking for momentum to bring me in. That's why I'm going to use a stop order. So now there's at least enough downward momentum to engage my signal, and now we'll see whether we get some follow through on that. And if we don't, well, then I'll have to do something with my stops. But the momentum is certainly not what it was a little while ago. Looks like we've got a little bit of a pause in the action now. Ryman asks, what's the buy-sell ratio? It's been pretty evenly matched this morning. The buyers started off strong. The sellers definitely overwhelmed them, but we're right back to where the market left off yesterday here near 4,200. And there we go. Market drifted enough to find our first micro-macro cross. All right, you guys, I'm going to button up the room a little bit early today. I do have a meeting at the top of the hour, and I need a few minutes to get ready for that. So we'll see you again Friday, same time, same station. Probably going to be a pretty dead day tomorrow, though. All right, you guys, be careful if you're trading this afternoon. I could see a little bit of a retracement lower. I could see the sellers stepping up here, but it's been going both ways. You want to be extra careful. All right, we'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.